Yo, welcome back to a new video. You know what it is? I think Fuegoleon does not get enough love. And honestly, he should. Fuegoleon is one of the most hyped up characters in the series. He even now has the fire spirit, and after this week's chapter, I feel like Spirito Daivo is soon to be seen for the Fire Salamander. But guys, before we jump into this video and this super cool theory that I've spent a lot of time researching and gathering across hundreds of chapters of Black Clover, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. But guys, be sure to hit that like button. It takes 1 second to smash that like button, subscribe, notifications on. We're going to be talking about a lot of underrated characters in Black Clover, especially in the next week or so, as Black Clover is sadly on break. But anyway, let's just jump straight into it. Before I forget, guys, the artist for today's video is the amazing Olivia. Be sure to go check out her amazing work on Twitter, and she also has a shop selling very cool and epic Black Clover merch, so please go show her some love over on Twitter. Anyway, jumping into it, let's start with the basics. Over 3 years ago, in an interview with Viz Media, then new author Yuki Tabata foreshadowed the future Wizard King of the Clover Kingdom. Now, in this interview, the interviewer asked them, "After reading the recent chapters, I feel like Nozel might become the next Wizard King. Am I right?" Tabata-sensei, "Oh, can I reveal this? Oh, should I reveal this? What should I do? Can I say this? I'll tell you if you want me to." On a side note, I fucking love how wholesome Yuki Tabata is in interviews. Team Jump responds saying, "Actually, I don't want to be spoiled. Well, I just noticed how well you've developed Nozel from a total jerk to a good guy." Tabata responds, "Thank you so much." Team Jump responds, "Was that planned from the start?" Tabata responds, "Well, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but I did plan on him being good from the beginning. I'm not sure how good of a job I did though." Team Jump responds, "Please tell us a few characters that could be good Wizard King." Obviously, Tabata then responds, "Who would be good Wizard King? Well, I'll start off with Nozel." Laughs. Nozel or Fuegoleon? Or, well, I guess I could throw in Yami as well. Now, unless you have reading comprehension, this almost fully confirms the fact that Nozel will be the next Wizard King. And I even made a video on this a while back, so be sure to go give me some love and support and check out that video. Now, anyway, why does this relate to Fuegoleon? Well, what is also interesting about that interview, in the last phrase, Tabata specifically mentions Nozel and Fuegoleon. And not to make it too obvious, he throws in Yami to throw off the readers. Now, what's important here is Yuki Tabata chose Nozel and Fuegoleon for a reason. For one, as we know, they are both captains and they are both rivals. We know this very early on, as soon as chapter 36. Now, remember chapter 36, because that's going to be very important in this video. A lot of references are going to be made back to chapter 36. But anyway, in chapter 36, after Fuegoleon was injured, Nozel said, "Pitiful, what an appalling spectacle. Never let this happen again. And I will find the scum who did this to you and bury them myself." And even during the Elf arc, when Nozel and Mariona, both in sync, said, "For my foolish brother and for my rival," now you know this. Let's get into why this matters. Why does the rivalry between them matter? But before we do that, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I'm about to blow your fucking mind. Okay. So in chapter 36, once again, we learned that Nozel and Fuegoleon are rivals, but in the same, very same chapter, we learned something else. During the flashback with Leopold, as he was remembering his life story, Leopold overhears a very important conversation. Remember, Yuki Tabata loves to throw us a bone. Very small fucking hints, and never mention it again for hundreds of chapters, which makes making theories very hard. But anyway, in this flashback, Leopold hears this: "Master Fuegoleon has become a truly splendid individual. He just might be the one to obtain the thrones of both King and Wizard King and become the true king." Whoa, amazing, my brother is seriously awesome, I'll work hard so I'll be fit to be his little brother. We'll leave Leopold for a little bit later into this video, but we will come back to Leopold. Now, if you did not quite catch the nobles or properly royals, whoever they were, talking about the fact that Master Fuegoleon is amazing and that he just might be the one to obtain the thrones of both King and Wizard King and become the one true king. Now, we know the title of the first ever Wizard King was actually given to then Prince Lumiere Vermillion Clover after his supposed death when he protected the kingdom against the demon we would later find out was actually licked in an evil plot that Zagrod came up with. But Lumiere was the prince, and since we would have also been the Wizard King and the future king, Lumiere would have been the one true king, both Wizard King and king of the Clover Kingdom. Remember, the title of Wizard King is just used for the leader of the military command of the Clover Kingdom. Nowhere is it stated that you cannot be king and Wizard King, and in this flashback with Leopold, Tabata hints us that the next king is Fuegoleon. Now, since Yuki Tabata in this interview basically spoiled the fact that Nozel is going to be the Wizard King, I now fully believe the next in line to the throne of the Clover Kingdom will be Fuegoleon Vermillion. Now, what's interesting about the line of succession is that we still don't fully know it, but when the nobles were talking about it, then it must be possible or something else is at play. Personally, I believe it's very simple. Currently, the Kira side of the Clover family hold the throne. The next in line would have been Damnatio Kira Clover for the throne, but since Damnatio joined the Magic Parliament, I believe he gave up his line of succession to the throne, which would then give it to the eldest son left in line, being Fuegoleon Vermillion. Specifically, we know that Nozel is 29 years old, while Fuegoleon is 30 years old, making him the oldest in line for succession since Damnatio gave up his position. Another factor I believe that very soon we are going to have a change in king one way or another is the fact that the events of the Elf Arc in chapter 215, with the introduction of Damnatio, we were introduced into anti-monarchist nobles who are clearly unhappy with the way Augustus Kira Clover, and let's be honest, who the fuck would even be happy? Augustus can never become the one true king, and as we know, Augustus is already extremely unpopular, even with the citizens, as we once again saw in chapter 107. The citizens don't even know why Augustus exists. They wish the Wizard King even to be the king, but sadly Julius is not part of the Clover family. So to sum up, I believe that Fuegoleon will give up his position as captain to become the king of the Clover Kingdom, Fuegoleon Vermillion Clover, the first of his name. This will follow with Nozel ascending to the throne of Wizard King and both rivals fighting side by side, both as kings in their own right. Now, what does this leave us for the future? I believe that Fuegoleon will give Leopold the Fire Salamander. We know, funny enough, again, I told you we are coming back to this chapter so many times in this video, as early as chapter 36. See what I told you? Tabata literally drops bombshells and never mentions it again. Anyway, in chapter 36, we saw Leopold do something really cool. Leopold said, "No, it's not that I want to be like him. This is the mark of my oath. I'll become a man who surpasses even Fuegoleon. I'll be the one to become the Wizard King." And with that, Leopold will eventually surpass Fuegoleon and finally reach the rank of captain. Now, I will leave the part of the video for later, but quickly mentioning it, I believe the first time we see the most powerful spirit in the spirit of fire properly being used and Spirito Divo being activated is going to be with Leopold. Funny enough, this arc, all of the major side characters have had transformations, but Leopold is still out of the loop. Although he most likely has ultimate magic, I believe with him continuing to go strong, Fuegoleon will give him the Fire Salamander, and one day we will get to see the Dragon Force. Shoutouts to my Fairytale fans who support my videos. Anyway, subscribe for that future Leopold video. With all that being said and done, I'm excited to see where and what we are left with after this arc of Black Clover. is very important, and with major character deaths being teased and an insane chapter 300 very close on the horizon, I'm excited to see where Black Clover is going to be heading to. If you agree with my theory, or at the very least enjoyed this video, shoutouts to Dante's Gravity over on Discord for practically begging for this video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, notifications on. Peace!